Yeah, let's get it on. Let's get it on. You're my last interview of the day. It's been a long day, but I think I'm prepared. I've had plenty of practice to talk about myself.
Ah, very good. Very
All
good.
right.
All right, let's kick it off. Wednesday 13, welcome to the Rockpit here in Australia. It's a pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Congrats on the forthcoming album, Mid-Death Crisis, which is out via Napalm Records on April 25. What an absolute blast this record is.
Thank you. It's
It's
good to
it,
hear.
it's a big old collection of 12 killer tracks that show and shine a slightly different light to 2022's Horrifier. What was the mindset going into this record?
Uh, the goal was to have fun. Was to have fun with the recording, have fun with the songs, not be serious. I think I made a list of what I didn't want to do more than what I wanted to do to start. Because every recording process that I've done in the past, I look back on it now. I've had time to reflect on 20 years of doing this now, and I go, "Well, that record, I may like that record, but the recording of it was a nightmare." Or, but my first album was perfect. Like nothing went wrong. When I did the second Murder Dolls album, nothing went wrong. The first Murder Doll record, nothing went wrong. Everything was like perfect. Uh, and then the other experiences, if nothing was ever, it's like chasing that.
Yeah.
And again, when came time to do this new album, I'm like, man, it'd be nice to have that experience again. And I wanted it, and I got it, and that was a happy thing. And I think the music reflects that, me having a good time in the studio. I wanted to make a fun record. I wanted to do exact opposite of what I did the last record, which was a darker, just more gloomy record coming out of COVID. That's what I had in the tank on that one. And with this album, I wanted to do something that was alive and felt energetic and made it feel like one of my live shows. And I just focused on my strengths as what I've done over the years and focused on it and honed in on these songs. And this is what you get.
I think you just summed the album up perfectly for me. Is this record is one of your live shows? It really is. It's a studio
Yeah,
recording of one of your live shows. It has
it
that
feels like
that bounce, that fun, that tongue in cheek innuendo, that and just engagement that you get from a live show.
I
Um,
think so.
I mean, I've been blessed to see you 3 or 4 times. The last 3 or 4 times you've been in Australia, and your live show was always something that I rave to people about. It's like, dude, it's like, can he get any better this time? And it's like, yes, he has. He's just,
Thank you.
he's lifted the level again. Um, and I can see how this record would translate extremely well live. Um,
Yeah, 100%. I always put myself on the other side of the stage. I'm not just thinking from my point of view and my singing from the microphone. I'm always going to be that fan in the audience. And I'm going, would I be happy as a fan if I did that? So I'm always, I'm my worst critic. So I try to think of it that way. And this record, like I said, it has a live feel. And I think that's what I've always liked about records. I like records that make me feel alive. And I wanted something like that. And and luckily I achieved it.
Speaking of records that make you feel alive, what would be at the top of that list for you?
Oh man, record makes me feel alive. Kiss. I listen to Kiss every day before I go on stage. Uh, I mean, I could there's almost all the Kiss records for me because I'm such a fan. But their Rock and Roll Over record to me, or Destroyer, is just that was something Kiss tried to do. Like they tried to when their Alive record came out, it wasn't really an Alive out. They had to capture this thing, and they finally got it later on. And that was something that I wanted to achieve too. Like I think my records have always sounded good, and they do have a good, fun angst to them. But in a while, I think my last few records, I think it got away from that live feeling, and this album definitely brings it back around.
Absolutely. When you talk about, being your own harshest critic and the one that sort of puts yourself under the magnifying glass the most, you've gone and written and you've written everything on this record, the music parts, the lyrics, the whole deal, the riffs, or whatever. how big a weight is that to carry as well when you're walking to doing a new album?
Well, for this record, I know that the press release says like, Wednesday wrote all the music by himself, and I think it was just kind of shortened. But basically, when I say this record, what I went back to was like my first album. When I did the first record, I didn't have any plans. I just knew Murder Dolls went on a break, and I knew I didn't want to go back to my day job. So I went to my basement and I wrote songs without a band, just a bunch of ideas. And then I decided to make a project out of it. But at the time when I recorded it, it was just me. I hired a drummer for the drums, and I played all the instruments, played the bass guitar, lead guitar, vocals, did everything. So when it came time to do this album, my longtime guitarist was no longer in the band, and he was one that I had wrote with kind of primarily for the last few records. So he wasn't there, and I went, all right, well, I wonder if I could do this the way I did the first album. Could I do it on my own again? Could I go in and write it from scratch? So I went in with that mindset, and also a challenge to myself to do that, and that's what I did. So I went in with that mindset, and that's what I came out with.
I mean, again, it's seamless to the whole Wednesday 13 sound and style. Again, without
By
reading
the way,
that.
I'm sorry. Let me open this door real quick. Sorry, someone's
Sure.
knocking on my door. Hold on one sec. Hey, sorry, I'm doing an interview right now. Sorry. Hey, sorry. I'm on
That's
the
all
tour
good.
bus. So we got traffic coming up.
Yeah, all good. So yeah, I mean, it really is. I mean, you've honed the craft so well of what is Wednesday 13. I think you've really embodied everything in that, even from a band and musicality perspective. Now, the recording of the album, did you do a lot of that on your own, or?
Well, once I got all the song ideas down, I brought presented it to my drummer and my guitarist, and we worked out the arrangements, and then went into the studio and then laid the drums down. And once I had the drums down, it was kind of just you build upon that. I went in with the idea of not playing guitar, and then ended up playing guitar on the entire record. So I just had a fun experience doing all of it, and it was just a rewarding thing. It didn't feel like work, and I was excited to go in every day and record. But I very much use my band for the recording. Just the initial start of it. I wanted the core of the music to be something that I focused on by myself.
Absolutely. Now, what made Alex Kane the right guy to produce Mid-Death Crisis?
It's just crazy how it worked out. We didn't plan it with Alex. I didn't pre-talk it out with him like, hey, we're going to do a record and I want you to be the producer. Alex came in as a friend, helped us with the recording. He found the recording studio we recorded at. And he was just going to help engineer the drums, and then that was it. And then I was going to do it myself. But we hit it off on the drum session, and I just asked Alex if he wanted to engineer the record, and he stayed on board. And about 3 or 4 days into it, he was offering ideas up, and I just said, Alex, why don't you just produce this? You're already kind of doing it, so just keep doing what you're doing. Listen to what I do, and throw in ideas. Do what a producer does. And we worked as friends, and he threw in ideas. Sometimes they were awesome, sometimes they weren't. He helped me arrange stuff, and we were a good team for this record. And he was a friend of mine for years, and so it was a very good experience. And I think he pulled a lot out of me, and he reminded me of my influences. When I would be playing something, he'd go, "Oh, that really sounds like Kiss, or that sounds like an old riff." He just something to remind me about. Oh, it is. Is that where I got it from? So it was. I don't know. He knew how to push all the right buttons on me to get a good performance.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I think that also adds to this sort of live magic that you've captured in the studio. It really does have that flow and that energy to it. He's captured it so very, very well, and sounds as though, yeah, perfect pairing.
Yeah, thank you.
So, how long did the record take to record?
I did it most of last year. We came home from tour, and in March, April, March, April, May, I wrote all the music. June, we got together with the drummer and guitarist and started doing like what I just laid the foundation down. I did the demos because I wanted to have something to listen to before I went into the studio. And then July 8th, we went into the studio and we recorded until August, did a whole month in the studio. So yeah, I mean, I literally wrote and recorded it all the way up from basically March till September. And then so yeah, it was a long experience, but it didn't feel that way. Now that I'm talking about it, I'm like, wow, was it really that long? But yeah, but yeah, I worked on it hard, and now going back and listening to it, I guess maybe that's why it does sound so good because there was a lot of work on it, a lot of time put into it, and but I'm happy with it. It was worth all the work.
For sure. Now, on the album, there's a couple of tracks. I Hurt You and My Funeral, which are slight deviations from the feel of the rest of the record.
Mhm.
For me, listening to them, they probably come across as being a little bit more of personal experience songs. Uh,
Uh, no,
no, no, just
no, I don't have any personal songs on the record. Again, that's just another. My funeral is a laugh. It's a joke. It's a take on just laughing all the way to the grave. It's nothing personal. I turn 50 next year, so this whole record is a laugh at life. The title "Mid Death Crisis" is on it. So my funeral literally just me just laughing at the fact that I'm turning 50. And "I Hurt You" is not a personal song at all. It's just another story. It's not even actually about a person. It could be about anything. It could be about a substance. People like abuse, whether it's from a person or whether it's a drug or alcohol, or what, and they constantly find themselves in those relationships, and so that's what that song's about. I make observations on certain things. They're not necessarily my point of view or from my personal thing, but yeah, I just see a lot of people that are obsessed with hurting themselves, and so this is saying from the point of view of the person hurting the person, saying, "Hey, there's nobody that hurts you the way I hurt you," and that could be saying, like I said, from a person, or it could be a bottle of booze or whatever. People like to be hurt, and they keep going back to it.
for sure. Now, I guess there's one track on the record that I love, and I actually your voice works so well with Tammy Downs on No Apologies. How did Tammy come to be a part of this?
Tammy's been a friend for many years, and uh, when we were recording the record last year, another Alex, producing the record, when we were doing the song "No Apologies," he said, "Hey, that sounds a Faster Pussycat vibe to it." And I went, "Yeah, I guess it kind of does." And we just started calling that the Faster Pussycat song. And a couple of days into it, Alex said, "Hey, it'd be really cool if you got Tammy to sing on this." And I went, "Yeah, that would be a cool idea." So I messaged him, and he wrote back and said, "I would love to be a part of it." And he came down to the studio and we tracked it. And we've already filmed the music video for it as well, which is the third single, which will be out right before the record comes out. And he was a big influence on me. I was listening to Faster Pussycat on their first cassette when I was 11 in 1987. And I even, give Tammy credit for this look. I mean, he went from being this little blonde haired guy to this black haired, top hat wearing, almost kind of before I even knew what goth was. He did that look, and I imitated it as a teenager, and I'm still doing it at 48. And he's on my record now. He's a big fan of the band. He's just it's really cool to have him be a part of it. And like I said, he's a big part of why I do what I do. So it's important. It's just as important to him on this record as when I had Alice Cooper intro my record a few years ago. It means as much to me.
Yeah, Tammy and Faster Pussycat again for me. I'm a couple of years older than you are,
Mhm.
but they were so formative to my love of rock and roll in that from that 87 to 80
Yeah, me
period.
too.
Wake Me When It's Over and Whip from Faster Pussycat are probably two of my favorite all-time records.
Yeah,
That
I love them.
was the diversity about them. Like they were a band that always chose to evolve. And
Yeah, and I get that from that too. I think you can hear that involvement in my records. They kind of did the same thing. They would go just like you said. We were the song like "My Funeral" or "I Hurt You" could be, whenever Faster Pussycat did "Hey Mr. Love Dog" or something like that. It was kind of darker and different, but it worked. So Pussycat was a big influence on me because they took chances, and I've definitely done that in my career too. So again, it's really cool to have someone like him on my record, and we were felt like we were in a band, we're in the same band for a couple hours that day when we recorded it, and the track's great. I tell people all the time, like, if you love Faster Pussycat, this is a supercharged Faster Pussycat song.
absolutely. Now, I guess probably for me, the most instant song that reminded me of a live show would have been Decapitation.
Yep.
What a fun track that is. Despite the name, what a fun track that is.
Yeah, it turned out to be the surprise of the record. I didn't know that song would be as powerful as it was because it's so dumb that it's amazing. It's when you listen to the lyrics and you hear what you're saying and you go, wow, am I really singing a song about cutting someone's head off? And it's so catchy. And it's so, I dare someone to find a better song about decapitation that's more catchy and fun. But I knew instantly that song was going to resonate with people, and I've heard that every day I do an interview. That's the song, so I know it's going to be a great live song. That will be the fourth video and single that we make, and that one's going to be a special video. It's going to be more like a little mini movie. I've got a crazy movie video plot for that that's be coming later this summer. So yeah, I have to live up to the hype of that song because the video's got to be just as good. So I got my work cut out for me.
Absolutely. Now, that kind of leads into sort of one of the last questions that I do have for you. I mean, have you ever thought about writing a script for a horror movie based around your songs? Have you ever thought, let's take this from this record and whatever, and let's make a movie out of it?
I have several movie ideas. A couple are from my songs, or the movie ideas influenced the songs, I would say. Uh, yes, I got a lot of ideas up my sleeve. My video director, who's been doing all my videos for the last 5 years, he and I are currently writing a movie script right now. So that's something that I'm working on, and I will have a horror movie out before I'm 50. That is the goal, and that's next August of next year. So I've got a year and a half to eat my words or not eat my words. So that's the goal. And but again, I started writing music and singing about horror movies because I didn't know how to make movies. Now I've made all these videos. I'm involved in the. I know how to do it now. At least I think, or at least enough to give it a try. And so that's next on the list for me.
So you've just kicked off your There's No Such Thing as Monsters North American tour, which is what, 37 dates in
Yes,
45
a
days?
lot of it.
Ridiculous. Um, how do you find being on the road and having such a busy schedule?
Um, I try to have fun with it. Like today, for example, I had 4 hours of interviews this morning. I had a little break, and then I had a couple hours this evening. It's my only day off that I've had, and but I've been most of it doing interviews in it. But I've had fun. I've enjoyed talking. I like this record that much that I enjoy talking about it. And luckily, everyone that I've spoke to, I think they genuinely like the record because I could tell. Like, it's like you like the record. It's so that makes it worthwhile too. But it's a lot of work. But it's part of the deal. I know that's what you have to do. But I'm glad to talk about the record. I'm glad people want to talk to me about the record, and it'll be out soon enough. So I'm excited for people to hear it. It's one thing to put a record out, and you got to do interviews about it. But it's for me, it's like putting this out. I'm so happy with it. Like I don't mind doing this at all.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. Now, how much of the album integrates into the new show?
Right now, it's going to be the three singles will be the only songs we're playing from the record. I don't want to. I mean, we could have played whatever. I guess I could do whatever I want, but I don't. Like I said, I always put myself on the other side of of the stage. I don't want to bore the audience to go, hey, here's a whole record you haven't heard yet. You know, so we played When the Devil Commands. People know that one now. At least some people know it. And the second video is for the song In Misery, and that's out this Thursday. So that won't be as new to people after Thursday. And then the third song we're playing is the song with Tammy, the No Apologies. So we've been playing them for the last week. They're going over already like instant classics, and that's a good sign. So I'm excited for people to hear the whole record because I think they're going to enjoy it.
That's an incredible sign, and no, well deserved. So very, very well deserved. July and August, you're in the UK and Europe. What about Australia? When are you
I
coming?
was just Yeah, I was just talking today. So it looks like we're gonna be there by the end of the year. So I don't know exact dates yet, but you should get us there by the end of the year. Maybe just in time for the end of the year.
Perfect. Absolutely awesome. Look, thank you so much for your time Wednesday. Thank you for, you know, making time for the media and myself on a day off. But
Oh, good. Thank you.
again, congrats on the record. It's always unfair for me when you release an album because it's all I play for probably a
Great.
6 or 8 weeks. Seriously, I just
Ah,
there's something about the way you've always done stuff, and that goes right back to Murder Dolls and even before, I think. So um,
thank you.
I just struggle to squeeze anything else into rotation while I'm absorbing, you know, the Wednesday 13 feels. So thank you again for an incredible
Thank you.
record, and
Thank
I
you.
wish
Thank
you
you.
so much success. And with that single lineup that you've talked about, I'm
Yeah.
sure it's going to be incredible for you.
Thank you very much, man. I'm glad you dig the record, and thank you for having me.
No worries at all. We'll see you in Australia soon, and yeah, best of
Yeah.
luck on the road. Stay safe.
All right, man. Thank you. Have a great day.
Take care. You too. Bye.
Thank you. All right. Bye bye.